Om Shanti. What is bodiless stage? I think we had been thinking, practicing, talking about bodiless stage for many, many years. And so I know that most of you understand what really bodiless stage means. But then whenever we gather together in Madhuban, we always like to put it to practice or to experience that stage again, because to whatever extent we had been practicing whole year, then some difference is experienced. It can't be just same. And I know that all the Brahmins, all Baba's children, they always have this aim to practice and to create bodiless stage. When it comes to creating a stage, generally we should say built a stage, no? This is a stage here. So it was built. But before it was built, it was created, in the mind. What should be the size, what's the purpose, for what it will be used. Will there be performances from the stage, physical stage? So in your mind, first you plan, and that's like you create. And then when you create it, then you build it and say, what kind of wood we should use, what kind of finishing we should use, all that, all those thoughts come in the mind. So stage which Baba uses is really within the soul. It's the soul. Sometimes we say it's mental stage, but actually it is a stage which is created within the soul. And for that, what is most important is the first material which you're using is knowledge to build that stage. So we gather all the points which are connected with soul consciousness, incorporeal world. So that becomes like our material, like all the points of knowledge. And then we say, okay, how do we begin? What is first the foundation, and from foundation then what is next step? And we start building that stage. So here also is first creating that stage in the sense of using knowledge. And using knowledge, in other words, is you create those thoughts, you think about it. It's very simple, because what you are doing is thinking about points of the knowledge connected with soul consciousness, so that you can start constructing that stage. And then you see, is it half done or how much it is done? So as you keep building, as you keep practicing, and then when you, like on the stage, you will walk and then say, is it shaking, how sturdy it is and how strong it is. So in the same way, if there is good stage, and then when there are situations or some of the past sanskars, they try to see how strong the stage is. And if little thing happen and stage starts shaking, so we will know that the foundation or the construction is not strong. That means the material which you used was not maybe good quality, or the hinges and the nails or something is missing. Otherwise, if we are creating a stage, if we are building a stage, it has to be very strong, it has to be sturdy, it has to be unshakable. Unless we want to create a hanging stage or shaking stage, Sometimes maybe that is needed, but I know that what we need is a very sturdy, very firm and unshakable stage. So what the process really is very common, very similar, that I step by step I use certain points of knowledge and I start creating that state. So I will share a few points how I would practice to create that stage, and then from that what will be my experience. And so when we sit at 7 o'clock in meditation, then you can practice those and see that what your experiences are. First important thing, to be bodiless, it is always important to understand what is the relationship between soul and body. Because you cannot just deny and say that I am only soul, there is no body. Because soul is sitting in the body, Soul is not separate at this time, soul is in the body. And unless you use a very comfortable way to create that relationship with body, it won't be easy to be detached, because your body will pull you. You won't be very comfortable. So you have to give the place where the body belongs. Wherever the body belongs, it should be there, and where the soul belongs, it should be there. So I give example that if you say that body is like vehicle, sometimes we say body is like costume. Sometimes we say body is like instrument. So costume goes at costume place, and one who wears costume, so it's like two separate things, So when you, with knowledge, with understanding, you see these two separate entities. One entity is body and other is soul. So what I do in Lokik way also, what you will do with your costume, or when we say it's a vehicle, so when you are resting, when you are sleeping, what you do? You leave your car in garage or in parking somewhere and you say, well, I have to rest. So here also this awareness that, okay, at this time body is to be parked and I am just soul as a driver. Or even just this consciousness that I am an actor and I play part through the body. So when I am not playing part, so that I can separate myself from the body. So I find that as softly, gently, beautifully you handle the existence of body, some or other there is more compromise and cooperation from the body also. But if body doesn't get its own existence or place, then there is insecurity, there is fear. What's going to happen, But if that has been used. And second aspect is that body really comes from matter. Body is matter. We use the word nature also, like it's from 5 elements. So when you took, soul enters in the womb of the mother, there is this little being physically from the matter, and then soul enters. So understanding of body also, that in a way body also, it is part of the matter and it has its own eternity. Only form changes. We have actually taken body for 5,000 years. How long would we have rested in Paramdham comparatively? Not 5,000 years or even 1,000 years. If we have to come back and play our part in golden age, actually soul stays in corporeal world very short time. For all those who had been playing part for 84 births, their stay in Paramdham will not be very long. So what you have done is taken body for 5,000 years, quite a long time. So it has its own, as I said, it will merge in the matter, and then I take it, and then it goes. So eternity in that way, connecting body with the nature. But then the first important quality which is needed to experience bodiless stages, knowing or kind of just also feeling all the time one's own eternity and immortality. Because I am which I never begin or will end. I am not in any limit, I am soul. So I am eternal. In all different ways I am eternal. When it comes to time, when it comes to existence, but it has that eternity. So when you think, you want to experience bodiless stage, it's really you have to experience that eternity. Every time you said that I am an eternal being and I am an immortal being. Immortality, if you practice this thought of immortal being, there are a lot of sanskars which are created in body consciousness in Copper Age and Iron Age. They all will get transformed. Because when you consider yourself body, then there are fears, death, sickness, pain, relationships. So much is created in body consciousness. So when you say, no, I am immortal soul, then what is happening actually is you changing that awareness, you're changing that, yes, I have relationships, but with the souls. I don't have any relationship with the body as a soul. So I am immortal and I am eternal. This consciousness automatically helps you to go beyond the limit of the body. Because when I am immortal, then body is mortal. So body, I have to shed this body, I have to take another body. So bodies, this form will not exist, will not stay same. But I will take another body. So just this aspect of immortality, and churn on that, think on that. So it breaks the barriers of body too. Because it's not only this body I had been taking, and it's bodies from the matter. Matter is also kind of eternal and unlimited. If we say that part of body is water, no, water is unlimited. Take part of body is heat, which is fire. Part in the body is earth. Part in the body is air. So it's like because the soul has kind of being trapped in this awareness of body, what we call it body consciousness. So it's in a cage kind of awareness, and what I have to do is to come out of it, make myself free. So bodiless stage is really when in body, but you are free from this cage of limitations, and you feel like a free bird. That I am not bound by this body, but I have relationship with this body. So then body doesn't become your bondage, but it's like a relationship, as Baba gives example. Whenever you want to take off or change your costume, then how you do it. But then Baba says, okay, if it's very tight, then it takes time and it's difficult to quickly change it. So Baba also gives examples. Or one very good example Baba gives, which that whenever you go to meet someone, like if you have appointment with president, or you have to go for a particular program, and they ask you to come in a particular costume, and you wear that. And then Baba says, when you come to meet me in angelic world, then you come with your costume of light, because that's the costume which is allowed. You could only enter subtle regions when you have costume of light. So it's a very lovely way to see that how I can just say, okay, I will take the body of light, or form of light, image of light, in other words. Many people ask me that when I go to subtle regions, if I see you in subtle regions, how do I see you? But if I do not see your features as it is here, I won't know that you were there. So that means I see same features as you have here, but only what I see, that it's of light. There is no structure. Yes, we always say there are no bones and flesh there, but it's just the image of light. So internally in bodiless stage, what you are doing is freeing yourself from this bondage. But you don't have any negative feelings toward body. Sometimes like it's a kind of negativity, I have nothing to do with body. But it's your instrument, you have something to do with it, and what is that? To use it appropriately. So the first step is immortal, eternal, and I'm free, but I'm using this body in many different ways. If you are experiencing bodiless stage, you are now master. You are using body at this time as a costume. You are using body as a vehicle. So you are master. So a bodiless being or a soul, incorporeal, is using body. So you are bodiless and you use body. So separate from body, and I am the master, and I am the one who has to use these senses, sense organs, to perform the actions. So it is both ways, freedom and then being master, that I am the master and I am the one who has to use it. So it's not a bondage, it's not that body has to dominate my mind, but my mind has to tell body what to do and what not to do. And it's not, as Brahmins we can say, I didn't want it to say like this, but I don't know why I just said it. Because before we used to feel as if it's the mouth which speaks, right? Or we used to say it was slip of my tongue. But it's not slip of tongue, no? Words are not slip of tongues. It's you as a soul. Use your mouth to speak. So I take that responsibility now. Before I won't take responsibility in body consciousness. I didn't want it to hear, but I don't know. Some or other, I kept hearing and I remember everything. So, being master means now you decide how you want to use your sense organs. So bodiless stage will give you that kind of control. Control not in a negative way, but control in the sense of you are the one who has to decide what I should do, what I shouldn't do. And this is the most important benefit of bodiless stage, is that when you practice bodiless stage, each sense organ is used for that purpose. That means you know for what you're doing, using, what you're saying. Every sense organ is used with, for elevated actions. So, in that eternity and immortality in relationship, what you start doing is taking charge of your own body, or taking charge of your own part, and taking that mastery that I am the one I am responsible, and I have to tell body what to do. Not that body has to tell me, which generally body doesn't. But body consciousness gives us this feeling as if body wants this. Body doesn't say anything, no? But it's from the sanskar. And another step which I find in bodiless stage is very, very useful is just this experience of being a light. And there are many, many experiences within even just this awareness of being a light. Because this light, point of light also is a seed. And this point of light also has all these abilities or faculties within it. So actually within this point of light means your total personality is there, you as a being. Everything is merged in this point of light. So when you are saying, I am point of light, what you're doing is that you are merging everything and becoming a point. Even if I am a point, why I have to become a point? I am a point. Why I need to practice I am point? Because this point has gone into many points, no? In the sense of, it's got, like Baba says, point, and sometimes we say it's like a star. And a star has so many different directions. But this Baba says it's just a point, no? A tiny little point. So when Baba says point means you have merged everything. Like when people talk and they say, it's long discussion, let's come to the point. Or let me be a point, give me a point. So point is like essence. So even if it's a very simple word to say or thought to think of that I am point of light, for me every time I sit and I think I am point of light, a new experience comes. How plain this point is, how sparkling this point is. And within this point, what is there? So it's like, in that stage as a point of light, where you are able to, and you feel as a point of light that there is mind, there is intellect, there are sanskars. But in bodiless stage, those three abilities are quiet, are still, are in experience actually. So that's really meaning of being point really means is that my abilities is merged. I am only a point. And that's a very, very, not only deep experience, but I find, like if someone says, okay, I think I am point of light, then what? To me, as soon as I think I am point of light, it's a different kind of experience comes every time. Because when I say it, I am thinking I am point of light, then I am, at that time, what that point of light, what the stage is of point of light. But in bodiless stage, I am just a point, and within that point, there is everything merged. So then what is the experience when I am point of light is your qualities. Very loveful, very sweet, blissful, happy. As much you become point, you start experiencing your natural qualities. So it's only in bodiless stage that it becomes very, very easy to experience my natural qualities. So I'm not just saying, okay, I'm point of light and I visualize just a point in the center of forehead, but the feeling, the energy, the experience which comes is that, some like when Baba talks of goose pimples raise, or even if you are away from body in a way, you are bodiless, but even I find that body start receiving so many good vibrations. First receiver is really your body. You all must be experiencing that. If you have headache, if you have stiffness, you really become a point of light and you feel how things are coming off. No? Have you all experienced? Some people say when I sit and I think I'm point of light, I get headache. Why they get headache? Because they haven't understood. So it's like you are forcing yourself be a point of light. But if you really understand, and you, with your thoughts you practice, you will know, a lot of people talk of energy blockage and all that and different things. And I find that whenever it's just total concentration, I'm just a point of light. And then you see how from point of light, also because it's point of energy, and you just with these two thoughts, the concentration cleared so many things from your head, from your heart, from your back, from your shoulders. Like they say that even in this world of today, even from here you walk, cross the road, even you walk little bit, you get stress. Stress is not something which is, they say every step you take in life today is a stress in a way. So we accumulate everything in the body. And of course it's from the soul. So I am a point of light. So I feel my nature. I'm peaceful, I'm loveful. And when I'm feeling it, then whatever subtle reflections, even if I am not thinking negative, but still something has been accumulated, you start feeling. That's why I am light, and Baba says double light. So what it means, double light? That when you are point of light, really in experience, your all burdens will disappear. You will know what you were carrying with you. If you were carrying burden on shoulders or whichever part of body, you feel light. Not only mentally light, but that light also, completely lightness is the experience. So this aspect of being point of light, and you say point of energy, but I always say point of might, there is also power. Now, bodiless stage is important because that's the time, that's the stage which not only brings the experience of natural qualities, but that stage brings all the powers. There's so much power within this soul. Really, there is a lot of power. One is power as powers, like 8 powers or 16 powers, or power of truth and merge and accommodate. And now these are the powers of abilities. They are more mental powers, intellectual powers, like power to discern. But soul itself is a power. Soul itself has that power. Now that's little different than powers. That power which you experience will change into, that means if you are in bodiless stage, maybe tolerance will be easy. Or maybe adjustment will be easy. But those powers, I consider them, because when you are practicing bodiless stage or you are sitting, you don't need all these powers. No, it's only when you are in activity and interaction and interrelationships that you need all these powers. But the experience of power, just while practicing bodiless stage, is little bit different than powers. Someone could easily say for that, oh, I really felt great, I feel very high, I feel very elevated. And then with that practice, power keeps increasing. Lightness and power also keeps increasing naturally. So it's a very good practice. And even like, some people ask me, what do you practice? I said many times a day, I just say I am point of light. So they say, well, you haven't practiced that for 42 years. I thought you must be doing something else. Yeah, but you bring that experience to yourself. When I will think today I am point of light, or whichever moment of the day, there will be different experience than what I did yesterday, because whatever has been, a day has passed, and within that there must be some difference. So this is something I find is very, very important. And then after that, for bodiless stage also I find very deeply connection with your home. Because if you are bodiless, in a way you are homeless. So I don't want to be homeless, no? That could be the experience, no? Bodiless in the sense of you saying, okay, this is body and it's not my home. And I'm getting detached from it. But to be bodiless, you should have that experience. And you should be able to connect. You should be able to go to that total realm of light, region of light, or you call it Paramdham, supreme abode, where there is total silence. Soul needs to have that experience and faith. Otherwise you will not be able to be bodiless, because there is subtle fear of becoming homeless, in other words. But when I have home, this body is related to this physical world and soul is related to incorporeal world. So both have their destination, no? Body also has destination, it will merge, dust returns to dust, or whatever way we call it, and soul returns to the soul world. There is destination for the soul, there is home for the soul. And then also when you are connecting yourself with home, it's a very beautiful feelings of, this is what I am. Like if you want to really say, I am peaceful, but how? Okay, as a point of light I could experience, but it's only when you connect yourself with incorporeal worlds, with your home, then that's the time you really, it's a kind of natural assurance that yes, not only peace, but silence. Because after being peaceful, one have natural kind of silence. People's personalities reflect silence. How it reflects silence is like, even if you are thinking when you are thinking, when you're not thinking, but a kind of personality. So bodiless stage gives you, or should have, that connection with home, where the soul feels that belonging and feels that to be in silence is my nature, and that's what really I am. Like people say, I want to know my roots, I want to know from where I belong, and they connect it with culture and different things, but soul has to connect with that existence from the home. And that also gives you very beautiful experiences of home. And then even further, if we take it that in bodiless stage, one of the important thing is that you start, it's like all others also are souls, right? So I am bodiless. In bodiless stage, it will be very, very easy to change your thoughts towards others. When I say change thoughts, thoughts are coming, and you know that those thoughts could be of body consciousness. But those who practice bodiless stage, they naturally connect with others more as souls. So a very new kind of relationship starts, being created, starts being happening because of this bodiless stage. So I'm just saying these are like, if you want to have 40 minutes, 1 hour, 20 minutes, depends how much you want to stay in that. So I gave you like enough work, like it can keep you 40 minutes, 1 hour, if you really want to go into that experience. But then, if you had been practicing, like Baba says, you should be bodiless within 1 second. And what I am talking of, but what I am talking is creating that stage, to build that stage. But when there is a stage, then you have to just turn on the switch and be that. So when Baba asks us, how many of you can be angelic, or how many of you can be bodiless? within a second, and some raised hands, some didn't. Then he said, how many take longer? So many raised hand. I didn't raise in both. So some said, but that's how come? So I said, because sometimes it takes 1 second and sometimes it takes longer, no? Which should be everyone's experience. And so yesterday morning, I think it was yesterday, they wanted to take some photographs for certain use. So they said the first 4 photographs for use of soul consciousness. And how long it takes to click, like. It was such a beautiful experience to look at camera and be I found that it took 1 second, 4 shots, quickly. And so then they said, now we'll be yogi. So I said, well, what it means? I said, instant consciousness, you are blossom, and yogi, you should be more introvert. Okay, I'm yogi now. For 1 second, yogi, 4 shots, yogi. Then say 4 will be like casual, you laughing and smiling. So then after that I told them it's a good practice, because within 1 second, and then I felt very happy because I could do it. What I said, I just felt when they click, I said, oh, anyone look at this photo will know this is soul consciousness, because it was really there. So what I'm saying, that Baba wants us to have bodiless stage, because sometimes there might not be enough time to create, no? But if you had been creating that stage, if you had been practicing, then it's available, it's there. Only what you have to do is to emerge. So that's what really aim is, that Baba says, practice to an extent whenever you need. When you are in bodiless stage, let's say there is a situation, I still remember that somewhere there was not very pleasant situation for this sister. She was at the center at midnight, someone broke in, and she said that it was 3:30 in the morning, and like she just was about to wake up and meditate, and first thought came in her mind is, let me be bodiless. Now when she had this thought, let me be bodiless, whatever she starts speaking to that person, now bodiless doesn't mean that you won't act, but your thinking in bodiless stage will be right. So she started talking to this person and kept busy for 10 minutes, and then within that anyway, instead of her getting scared, he got scared, because he knew it's too late now, he should run before anybody comes out, or if there is any other member in the house. Bodiless stage is a stage which is not only fearless, but it's a stage which makes your abilities function appropriately, accurately as needed. So one is stage, but then use of stage, the benefit of stage. Or especially when you want to give experience to others, because that will become our main subject with the time, where people just would want to have experience. And that comes is when you have bodiless stage, your power to share becomes experience for others. So bodiless stage is a practice, it's quite a practice, long practice, depends how much we want to do. But as much stage is created, according to Baba, that you should be able to create that stage within 1 second. And for most of us, sometimes we are able to create within a second, and sometimes it takes quite a while, in the sense of I have to again kind of practice. So it could be like, morning time is very good, Amrit Vela, or during day, just few minutes, whenever you get chance, just take one of the aspect, like I talked about 4 or 5 points, take just one of that and be that. So when you will take that aspect and be that, now if you have practiced for 3 minutes, 10 times a day, you have practiced 30 minutes. that has become your stage. That means as much you had been practicing, that much percentage stage is there, and that much it becomes easy to emerge that stage and be that within 1 second. So now we all have to see what we want to use, where we are at. All of us, I think, need to go into all different aspects. I go into every aspect many times. And then sometimes, like, it's just as I said, you get 1 minute or 1 second, that also one is able to do if there is enough practice. So, it's just use your thoughts with the material of the knowledge. And every time you will sit and practice, there will be a kind of new experience. And as I said, most important thing is when I know myself as I am, it's only in bodiless stage. Because that's the time your natural qualities and your power is so beautiful to know yourself in that stage, because that's what you are. In bodiless stage, you know yourself much more than when you are interacting and you are in interrelationship with others. And then that's the stage when you know Baba also. Because this bodiless stage, that means the bird as a soul is free to fly, to get connected, to go to Baba very quickly. So bodiless stage is my protection, bodiless stage is my power, bodiless stage is my experience, but bodiless stage also helps me to be connected with Baba, one who is eternally bodiless. We can't call him bodiless because he never had body, but of course when he plays his part through Brahma Baba, we used to see that how there is body and there is this Shiv Baba, there is this body and there is this Brahma Baba's soul. You could just see it completely, that this is Baba, this is body. So this is the soul, this is the body. Others will also that experience, that they will look at the soul and not at the body. So whether it is critical time in situations, whether you want to really use energy, the power in right way, is the bodiless stage, which is a good help. And many different benefits, or we can call it different way to use this bodiless stage in helping your own self and also helping others. Because in bodiless stage, it's very, very easy also to serve through the mind. Because that also happens in bodiless stage. If you're not in bodiless stage, even if you have good wishes, other person will get some experience, but not necessarily it works as big power. It works as power only when there is bodiless state. So this is how we take these steps, go, keep practicing, and then each one of us should see that now Baba says every time should take 1 minute, 1 second, 1 moment, so we should be able to reach to that stage. So Andari Janki will join us also in meditation. So we will practice and create this experience of bodiless state. Because now will be practice. Now we have half an hour to practice.